Hello everybody, happy December. I'm Lisanne Miller with W, Cushing and Company, and today we're going to talk about plaid. Plaid is a new thing for the holidays, a great thing for the holidays, and we're going to go over how we hook plaid today. So we're going to start right in. This is Charles, a shutter sitter. When he's finished, he'll be cut out and he will be finished with all the edges around and hang on a shutter. But he's got a lot of plaid on him. So what we need to do is look at the plaid and then we'll dissect it, okay? So what we have in here is a plaid, and it is a mock-up of a plaid. And I'm going to show you the components, show you a picture, and then we'll hook it. So here we go. Here is a light blue-green line. This is blue spruce. Here's our green, our gold, our red, the blue spruce again, and then the blue spruce down here. So if we look at it, we have to figure out what goes over and what goes under. So I picked the gold in this place to go under. So there's an order of hooking, and the order of hooking is just because it makes you so much easier for you to hook. So here's our section. The first thing is you outline the section. So by outlining the section, we have the blue spruce here, the blue spruce here, the blue spruce here. Then the gold gets put in so that the line doesn't get lost, and it goes right to here, then here. If you notice it's not perfectly straight, it doesn't have to be. It makes the hat band wave a little bit, so don't get concerned. No, you do not have to do it twice. You do not have to pull it out and rehook it. So then after the gold gets put in, we put in the red, and the red gets put in. Now, at this point, we have two options. It's okay. We have two options. We can just hook the two reds together and wedge in this blue spruce, which is what I did here, or we can leave a space. So here's a red, and then I left the space for the blue spruce. As you can see, there's not that much difference. It's just what you're comfortable with. Then the green gets put in. And as you can see, these are little squares now. This makes it very easy. So then you just outline the square and you fill, outline and fill, outline and fill. Now, sometimes this red needs a little bump up. And once in a while, at the end, when you look at it, it may not look like a plaid or the plaid you want. Then you sneak in a little blue spruce and you dot it in. Now here at the end, I didn't dot it in, and I bet you didn't notice if I didn't tell you. So don't be overly concerned, but just make it look over and under. Now here I reversed it a little bit. I still outlined, as you can see, he is nicely outlined. And then I put in my red, I put in the red, and in here I didn't leave a space, I just hinted in. There wasn't a lot of space, I wanted it to kind of look folded, so I just hinted in the blue in here. Then I put the gold to make the gold look like it's going under. That creates the part of the plaid. And then again, I'm left with the squares. So then I just nicely fill in here with sweet pea. This is sweet pea. And I just nicely fill in. And I went right to here. Here's the knot where it would change. So now the stripes go this way to create the knot. And any place I needed definition, I used my highlight color, which is my blue spruce. Then continued it here. Now here I ran the blue spruce a little more predominantly so that it picked up against Frosty's body, Mr. Charles's body, and then the red. And I did leave a space for the blue, but I didn't here, so that we created a wave all the way down. I put the gold in, then that left me my spaces for my green. So the order of the hooking makes it so simple. The colors can change. They can be any colors you like. They can be blue, purple, pink, any plaid you want to do, but it's just the order. And remember, what goes under and what goes over is the most important. Now, this is one case where you may want to do a diagram. And here's the diagram that I did for this, okay? Here's my blue, here's my blue. I did do this, okay, like that. Then came my red, or the gold, it doesn't matter, but notice my gold is under. Made sure what I chose to be under, and then I filled in with the green. And sometimes when you're hooking at night or you think that you may not have followed the plaid exactly, this is a good little tool to have next to you to say, did I screw something up? Or did I remember to put the gold under? Did I remember the blue? You know, and so by having this little piece right here next to you, it does keep you on the straight and narrow, so to speak, on the plaids. So when you get ready to hook, and I'm going to hook a little bit of a plaid. We're going to put Charles on the floor for a minute. So here we go. And I know some of you will ask about my frame. This is my frame that I hook in at home. This is my Butler frame. It is a John Butler frame. Pris Butler's husband made them. It is my favorite frame. I don't believe they're making them anymore, but you can contact Pris Butler with it. I know that people will ask. It's a lovely frame, and I use it all the time. So here we go. Here's my plaid, and I'm going to do a small section. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my blue spruce. This is my blue spruce right here, and I'm going to outline it. So when I outline it, I'm just going to outline it like that. And I'm outlining it. Now, the thing with the outlining it, stay on the outside of the black line. If you notice, I'm staying right on the outside. I'm not on the inside of it. I'm just not I'm not trying to minimize where I'm going to put my green. Okay? So I'm going to outline this little section here, just like that, and hook it in. And once we get to here, I will pull it up for a minute. I don't like to end on a corner. I just think it makes a sloppy corner. So I am going to come along in here, just like this, and come up a little bit. And I'm going to cut, just like that. Now, the next thing is, I know this is going to be my gold, these lines here, and I am going to come in so you can see, and I'm going to wedge right down the middle. I'm going to put one in first, and then I'm going to wedge for you so you can see the difference. Here's my blue coming right down. This is a texture blue spruce. You can use dyed wool. These are great to use your leftovers in. It really doesn't matter. And I'm going to cut. Now I'm going to take my gold because I don't want my gold to get lost, to be lost, but I also don't need it overly predominant. I want it there, but it doesn't have to be there. Okay? No, I'm not going to jump under and continue. We're not going to have those kind of threads. Even though this will most likely be a pillow, I still don't want to do that. We still keep to good hooking. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to continue the gold on this side just like this. Okay, so I'm going to continue the gold. And if you notice, I'm trying to stay on the lines because it's printed with a curve. Now the lines aren't straight, but it is printed with the curve so that you get the curve of the plaid. That's one thing. Don't make this too straight. You may get in trouble with that. It won't look as if it's being windblown. And we're going to do one more like that, just like that. And now I'm going to put my red in. I went to a little larger cut on the red, but we're still going to put the red in. A good red, if you like a good texture red, would be Geo red. This is just a little scrap. But if you notice now, I'm putting it right in here. I am laying this right in, right next to it, just like that. And I am coming right here. I left a little spot. I'm coming right over here, and I'm coming back up, just like that. And if you notice, it just sneaks in there nicely. Now this is a smaller plaid than what I did on Charles, and so I'm not going to put the blue on the outside on this one. What's left is the green. This happens to be Herbal Essence. It's a scrap that we had. You can use sweet pea or any green, but make sure when you pick your green, or if you're using green in your plaid, if these holly branches are going to be a blue green, then pick a yellow green. It depends upon what you're putting your plaid around. If you're going to do a yellow green, then pick a blue green or a different color in your plaid, because you want your pine branches to stand up. So there's my first square, completely done. Gonna come in here, and there we go. The golds are kind of going together, so you got to open it up a little bit. There's not a lot of space, but when you do, you can see it's coming in very nicely. I'm going to cut that one. And you can use a brighter gold or a duller gold, it doesn't matter. Whatever you would like, whatever you think your plaid should be. And then here's another one, just like that. So now when I get to come up to the next plaid, I really want to make sure this line stays in. So I'm going to switch up to my red, okay, because I'm going to wedge the blue in on this one for you. I want you to see what a wedge looks like. No, it's not a wedge of cheesecake. Nope, nothing like that, but it is a wedge. This has less calories. So here I come back up, and I am going to finish right there. Look at that, it ended up just right. There we go. Okay. So now I have my blue spruce, and I'm going to come and wedge it in. I left a little spot, and I'm wedging it right down. I'm not skipping that much. I'm putting it pretty close together. And at the end, there's the one that I did first. There's the one that I wedge in. So it's up to you what you'd like to do with it. Either one is fine. And then I'm just going to continue in here and fill in my green and build my plaid up. I like to build it up. I don't like to do everything at once. I like to build it section by section to make sure I get the curve in. I don't go in and put all the reds in, all the golds in. I don't like to do that. I like to build it. Also, you do get bored hooking the same color if it was a bigger piece, and this lets you really have a little bit of fun. You keep all your noodles up on your frame, and you're good. And if it was a brighter gold, you would see it a little bit more, but you can still see it. It's just a darker plaid. And there you go. There's your plaid. There's your gold. Now, if you notice, it was predominant before. It has receded. It looks under. Looks like it's weaving under. We have the curve coming in. And at the end, you have a nice plaid without having to count or carry or do the bead stitch. So there's your plaid. Now, one last thing before we leave till 2021. Last time we hooked with fur. And I want to show you what that looks like and introduce the Woodland Santa. This is the Woodland Santa. And of course I'm in process with it. He's more like a Father Christmas as he's being hooked. But here is the fur. And this happens to be a blue version of the fur that we have. We don't have very much of it because it comes from the Ukraine. And with everything going on in the world, it's very hard to get. So the blue is the same as what I've shown before. Some of you asked if it came in color. Some of you asked questions about it. And what happens is I hook it And this isn't even a whole skein in here. And then I come back in, and you see where I've laced in a little bit, and see there's some blank spots here. I will go back in and fill them in, and that makes the fur stand up. It's really nice and tight in here. I hook the fur. This was the question, a couple of questions. The fur is hooked after I did the coat. Then I came back in and I hooked this in to make it stand up. And then this will also make it stand up even more. Same thing with the cuffs, because this is narrow. I put the fur where I wanted it, then I came in and I hooked the rest of his mitten. And then in here. People had asked the order of it. I do place it, and then I also hook back in to make it so it stands up and doesn't move around. I can show you how little we have, and here's a little bit on the back. There's not a lot on the back. Obviously, this is not going on the floor. There are holes in it because it does fill in very, very nicely. Okay? So that is the fur. And that gives you a good idea of how to make it stand up. And that concludes our lesson for today. We will start again in January 2021. I know that we are airing on the second Thursday, not the third Thursday, because that is Christmas Eve. I wish every one of you a healthy holiday season. Be well.